Okay, so this is Pardo from Pardo FX doing my market overview that I do every weekend to give me an outside mechanically on what price is doing and what we can expect to see for the week coming and give me some kind of idea on the best opportunities to take um, and try and keep it outside of fundamentals. Although at the moment, admittedly, it's difficult to ignore what's going on with the Trump administration and the financial implications that's going to have around the world. However, let's just look at it mechanically for now. And if you like what you see or is useful to you, please feel free to subscribe. I'll be doing them most weeks, as I do for my own trading anyway. So the pound US dollar then. So we caught this lovely up move from the bottom based on this shift of momentum. Yeah, shift of momentum up, test, EMA 17, test, EMA 17, test, boom. Okay, take profit at 1.25. Beautiful trade, best trade of the year. All right. Um, what the next move is, we're not going to short it from there because it's then against the trend. So we don't short retrace because we don't know it's going to retrace. Okay. It has retraced. Okay. And we're now looking for the next on trend move. So I think I wanted the peak symmetry, as in it's going to come down to meet this bottom and go up. Now I'm not sure it's going to reach that low. This line here is the strongest line in this area going back over time. Um, and that's where the 61.8 is of the latest up move, and that's where the 38.2 is just below of the entire up move. So I think it's going to drop slightly below that. I want to see the 618 touch to get me interested in going long, and that's just below where the EMA 17 on the daily is, but that's okay because it's as long as that's there or thereabouts, it's a strong possibility that it's going to move from it. So I'm long from that point, and you've got a take profit point at 1.25 because it's a very strong level of demand supply in the past. But if the up move does then continue, then you're looking at this point at 126,115 as your next range end. Okay, so that's your trade potential really for a day trader. Okay, and then you like to see the same thing happening. So bullish on the pound against the US dollar. Um, Euro pound, okay, mentioned it on the Euros one, difficult to go with because long term we think this is a long term buy, and that's based on how price reacts in this area over longer scale time frame. So on the weekly, it's an obvious buy from this demand area, and you see the reaction from this demand area. Boom, came down against the trend line. Okay, where is it going to go back up again? So it's the bias on this is long term long. I think it's short term short. Okay, because if it does pop back up to 0.84, there is a shorting option because it's due a retracement. Okay, it does throw up short retracements before continuing, and I think that might be a good option. However, you do that against the EMAs on the 4 hour, so it's difficult to say that is a good trade opportunity. Therefore, possibly wouldn't take it. Okay, but if you want a long opportunity, you're probably looking at letting it go down to 832 for the option to push long again. But it's a difficult one to trade this because you're almost going opposing biases, and for that reason, to be honest, I probably won't trade it. So let's move on to the next pair, which is pound CAD, which has been remarkably tracing this EMA 17. And, I kicked myself that I actually got in this trade around this point, had some mindset issues, got out of it, and look how it's moved since. So what has happened now on Friday? I got in this trade to go long based on this push above and then the flag and then rejection. Okay, this is a really strong area of demand and supply. Okay, therefore looking for the push to the top. Took me out of break even, but this is more of an indication that it's going to go up because the liquidity dip. I'll be very surprised if this didn't make this range within the first 24 to 48 hours of the week. Very surprised, given what's going on with the loonie as well. I'd expect this to fill pretty quickly. And then who knows? Yeah, it's one range at a time. At the moment, the range is this one. Okay, and we'll see what happens during the rest of the week. But very much bullish on the pound CAD, even though the price action isn't very good. Um, Pound Swissy, difficult. Yeah, another difficult one because you have really strong push up and then this really weird price action coming out the side. And this is the indecision in the market towards the end of the week. Um, what would I like to see? Well, I'm not going to trade it where it is. Okay, I might have traded up from this point and then it took me out of break even as well. Now it just looks like a mess. So either, well, in fact, the only real thing I'm going to do here is I'll look to short it from the top of the range. I think the Swiss franc's pretty strong. Okay, but if it can flag up to the top of the range, which is likely given where it is currently, you can trade it from there. Alternatively, below this line, trade it from there. But certainly nothing at the moment. I think it'll trace up and then go down. Okay, GJ has turned from pristine price action into a bit of a mess, if we're being honest with each other. So, this trending price action, beautiful price action all around here. Okay, as soon as the inauguration happened, it's been a real mess. You do have this uptrend line, which hit it, poked through, hit it again, and then it's been very messy since. Okay, you could argue based on your trend line placement because it is very subjective. Okay, you could argue it was hit again towards the end of last week. Price has pushed up and above this end of range and testing, and for that reason, I'm long on this. But it's very difficult to say I'm going to take a trading opportunity based on that price action. It's actually still below both the EMAs we look for as well. So I need this one to play out, but I think it is more of a long opportunity than the short one, certainly, based on this trendline rejection and the potential shift in momentum there. Pound New Zealand is a good trade setup for a long, I think, based on sort of the peak symmetry completing here, or this reversal point here, and it's very difficult to guess which one because this first one at the 38.2 or just below has the EMA 70 to 200 coming into play, which are very strong. But the price reversal point isn't as strong as the one beneath it, which is actually the retest point of this structure. It's what we were looking for last week, but didn't quite happen. One of these points, price will likely go long, and it's difficult to know which one that's going to be at the moment. So it's going to be one we're going to have to watch, but the bias is long. Just from what point? Well, we'll have to decide that once the week starts. And I think the last one is pound Aussie. So really don't like this. Okay, really don't like the price action on here. It's sort of it's messy within supply zones. It has, it is showing rejection from 2.0, which is obviously a massive emotional point. But you've got so many little areas of, where price is rejected from in the past. It's sort of in the middle of them. So the bias would be short based on that. But I don't like where it's currently sitting. I don't like how the EMAs are positioned in terms of, where you're going to buy it from. Because if it comes down to the EMAs here, I'm not sort of convinced it's going to go up at that point. It's in the middle of no man's land a little bit. So I think GA is probably going to be one I'm going to stay away from until the price action looks quite as good as sort of this up here, which is the last time I traded this pair down. It's really nice move. So yeah, difficult one to figure out that. I guess the short term option is, it's rejected from 2, therefore where do I get in to go short? And the answer is pretty much where it is, unless you wanted to, because I know a lot of people like this pair. There's a point at which if price did drop through there, you look to get a retest in that area somewhere, but you're just trading it short into the EMAs then. So, it's probably one I'm going to stay away from this week. Common sense trading, right? And that's it for the pound. So that's how the pound looks like this week. Obviously, this is subject to change. We don't know how the market's going to open. It's just giving me some ideas about what pairs I will need to look at. And if you found this useful, please subscribe and I'll maybe see you in the Discord. Cheers.